Oh, wow. Was my mic? I think my mic was on mute that whole time. Welcome to live. So, yeah, shit happens when we go live. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see. What did I just say? Welcome to Mask Off Mondays with your boy Hawaii Mike. I'm obviously Hawaii Mike. It's your first time here. Y'all know what to do when y'all go to a new stream. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification button so you know when we go live. You know what I'm saying? And how we like to kick these off with Mask Off Mondays is give us one word. Like we want to check in. Give us one word. How you feeling today? How you feeling? You know? For myself, feeling vibrant. Like feeling good. Lots happening in life as always, you know. My first meal of the day, you know. I like to do that intermittent fasting and sometimes when I get in the middle of things, like getting ready for this stream, I forget to eat. Y'all ever do that? I get to eat all the time, man. It's terrible. But we definitely forget to eat. But don't do that all the time, man. It's not healthy for you, you know? You want to make sure are taking yourself seriously, you're healthy, and you're staying vibrant. That's the word for today for me. So if y'all can, just drop that in the chat. Even if you're watching the replay, I check out the chats. So, throw it in there. What else is happening right now, man? Weather's starting to change in New York. We got a weird ass August happening right now. Like feels like it's already fall. You know, last week was kind of hot. But this week's going back down, low 80s, and usually August is when it's steamy. I'm curious what's gonna happen with the rest of our summer. We got like a month left, and it's feeling like an early fall right now. Like an early fall. So with the check-in, we can do a little reflection, just kind of what's going on in life, seeing what's happening out there in the world. For myself, last week was big, with Chef for Hire, big celebration. It was 10 years on Friday, August 15th. It was 10 years since we did our very first supper club. And Dinner is Dope was the name of it. And it was a celebration. We did a 10-course tasting menu. It was really dope. Um, and I had a blast, man. So got some OGs there. Shout out to Sha, shout out to Yamina. Um, who else was there? Shout out to Maya. Shout out to one of the new OGs, Jordan. But it was great to, just reflect on, man, because 10 years, it's a long time. So a lot has happened. Like a lot. We actually even in the legal market now with Chef for Hire. So it went from introducing people to consuming cannabis through food to creating products so people can do that themselves at home. So it's like, again, I'm you're gonna hear me talk about celebration for a long time. I'm gonna get into a little bit more in a second. I think celebration is so important. It acknowledges, things you do, it acknowledges things other people. Celebration makes us feel good. It's important. Like that's one of those words I want y'all to just, I don't know, pin it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And just keep that frontal lobe and man, access it every opportunity you get. And celebrate the small things. Don't just celebrate the big things. But let me not digress. So 10 years of Dinner is dope. Again, 10-course tasting menu. We chose a bunch of different dishes. It actually happened to be mostly from 2017 to 2019. But we chose, some dishes that really kind of just stood out things I wanted to kind of recreate. Some that were kind of standards. We did a twice fried chicken, but we did a deboned chicken thigh this time and added some caviar to that joint. And whew, man, that was crack. Well, let me see if I can remember the whole menu. So we started with bun, I always mess this up, buñuelo, which is a uses like tapioca starch or cassava starch, and it's a ball. Like it could be like a donut hole. Like if you really want to sweeten it up, we kind of mixed it a little sweet, a little savory, but it's bomb. It's like a crispy outside, and you open it up, and it's just like this airy, doughy, just goodness. What else did we have? We had brown skin lady, which is a burrata ball with some grapefruit, orange segments, as well as some tomato, uh, little balsamic glaze. Might have to let me just look up the menu, man. Let me not try to remember this whole thing, cause sheesh, there's too many things on the brain cells right now. Try to remember all of these dishes. So let me look. We did, yeah. So that was that. Then we did. Oh man, we did the what? This was after a Biggie themed dinner we did, and it's a polenta grits, right? Both cornmeal, same difference. Um, but man, you bake it. I mean, I'm sorry, you bake it, you cook it, but you go a little bit longer, so it's a little thicker, a little bit less liquid. All kinds of cheese though, just cheesy goodness. And you let it set after you cook it. You put it in the fridge overnight, cut squares out. You just throw that on the grill. Woo, man, it is something so delectably good. It's heavy, but it's so good. That little bit of mushrooms on the side. Then we did a longevity noodle, um, some pan fried noodles and a brown butter soy with some maitake and shiitake mushrooms. Oh no, Meji mushrooms and maitake mushrooms. My fault. And then topped it off with a couple of scrimpies. Then we did an actual shrimp roll. Because the very first dinner we did a shrimp roll, but it wasn't very elevated. It wasn't too sexy. This one, we upped it. Nice toasted brioche bun, top split, crack. Then we got into, scallop with miso butter. This one is the bane of my existence though, because there's always something with scallops. If you want to sear scallops, you frying scallops, you're searing them, you're roasting them. Like, make sure they're not wet scallops. I wanted to fight my purveyor this time because when you do them right and they're dry scallops, you get this crispy golden crust on them, and it looks so sexy. When they're wet, meaning they've been chemically treated, um, they end up holding a lot of liquid. That liquid comes out into the meal, and with that, you end up steaming more than being able to fry them and like really get that sear, So that part. So to my purveyor, I love you, but on that one, because you killed me. Uh, it was still bomb though. Still did the miso butter. It still tasted great. None of the guests knew. This is something the kitchen, this is something that we go over. We're mad about. Guests have no idea. Then we did a uh, Hudson Valley steelhead. You get that bright pinkish orange color, just beautiful with that crispy skin. Whew. Wow, she was so good. And then we got some, what do we use? Oh, some Chinese water spinach to go along with that craziness. Then we did the fried chicken, like I said, that caviar. Then we did 2 desserts. We did a Louisiana crunch cake with a whipped cream, made a fresh whipped cream, and a blueberry compote. It looked like a little volcano. Ah, so good. And then we did an Atlantic pie, which was key lemon lime on a graham cracker and Nilla wafer crust. That one went crazy. I swear, I think that was probably the favorite dish. As far as a dessert, like people love that one, like crazy. So, um, that one, man, the tartness, the crust just was perfect, and then you just did like I don't know why I got like some like a green thumb. You know what I'm saying? You grow some great agriculture. I have a meringue thumb, whatever. I'm great at making meringues, like the stiffest paws, just meringues that just sit there and they're just glossy and just pretty. Man, I wish I had some pictures, but pictures ain't come out too good. So you gotta wait for the video. We'll get the video popping. We'll get that going. But that was part of my week. Then shout out to DJ Bobby Trends. Trends had a nice little birthday bash yesterday, little pool party action out in Jersey. Vibes was dope. Nice and chill. BBLs and barbecue. I don't know why, but BBLs could ending up really close. I gotta hit my homegirl up that was with me and see if she got any pictures. But they just kept ending up like right like uncomfortably right in my face. Like so close you want to touch them, but then you know what I'm saying? Like that's rude too. And they always look crazier in person than they do on the screen. On the screen, movie magic makes them look all right. In person, the math don't be mathing. Like they look so just. I'm not a fan. Like that's not my thing. But Trends' family, shout out to Marco too. Like we was just out there kicking it. It was fun. They had it at their homie's crib, like a BMX. I mean a BMX, a motocross dude. So they have like a little track in the backyard also. So you're randomly looking over the pool, you see a bike just jump in the sky like that. That shit was pretty dope. Um, what else? I mean, it was in Jersey, so Jersey's Jersey. But what do? You go where your peoples is at. You go say what up to them. You show them love. Just like you kept saying, I love you too, Bobby. You my guy. Been chill since we met. Actually, we got to get you on Mask Off, man. And speaking of Mask Off, like have who else? Who else we had? Who else we got to get on the show? I need to hear from y'all. I want to know who y'all want to see on Mask Off. Like who y'all want to see take the mask off and reveal their story and how they came up and how they got to be the person that we know. If y'all want, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Love to know that. What else? What else? What else? Um, oh, I know. We're gonna get into one of my favorite. Well, actually, even before I get into that, what's today's mathematics? Today's mathematics is knowledge, build, or destroy. Um, Knowledge is the foundation of everything in existence. Knowledge to know as such. The sun is the foundation of our solar system. Asiatic black man is the foundation of our family. Knowledge is to look, listen, and observe. Knowledge is the first step towards righteousness. And build or destroy. Build is create a positive elevation of the mind. Destroy is to ruin, to tear apart from within. And I'm not 5% by any means. I learned mathematics during like just coming up in hip hop. It was part of what we had to learn was Zulu Nation. And I say this all the time. I don't follow a religion. I don't believe 100% in any religion. Like no religion is 100% truth, but there's truth in every religion. I've been somebody who has read a lot, practiced some of these things, and incorporated certain learnings and information and ideas into self and what I do. And I think celebration is Very important in our life. It's part of why I do Mask Off. It's allowing people to celebrate their lives, whether they know it or not. It's me celebrating them and giving them their flowers by wanting to hear and engage in their story, because it allows us to talk about um, accomplishments, whether from struggle, whether just triumph, whether succeeding in something they've been trying to do, whether not succeeding and they keep trying and then they break through. Um, but celebration is important. Right now, I feel like there's a program, the system is programming us to celebrate only when we're told, right? And so I just want to, put that up there that we we need to celebrate more. Celebrate all of the things. Even celebrate the things that you think are mundane, that are just normal, right? Celebrate the things that you take for granted. So this is my main one that I use all the time. This stuff right here that we can't grab, this oxygen, this stuff, we don't survive without it. But just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Just because you don't think about it and we breathe autonomously doesn't mean you shouldn't acknowledge it and celebrate. Give thanks, give gratitude. That's why we wake up every single day is our birthday. Give thanks every single day. I woke up, I'm alive, I'm alert, I got my faculties, I can move. I I don't have to get up. I get to get up. I don't have to exercise. I get to exercise. Like I don't have to go to work. I get to work. These are things thousands of people today aren't able to do. So why take those things for granted? Everything is worth celebration, right? The more we celebrate the small things, the more we focus on the positive, less time there is for the bullshit. It's not that difficult, you know. It's in theory. In practice, it's difficult because we've been practicing the opposite of that. And we got really good at it. We got really good at the negative stuff. We got really good at pointing out all the things we don't like. We got great at that. So just as you're great at that, you can get great at pointing out all the things that you love. Not with desire, but point out all the things that you are grateful for in your life. We always talk about things we don't have, but why can't we talk about the things we do have? Why can't we talk about the simple things like I was saying before, just our faculties and you know what I'm saying? So practice that, man. Practice celebration, as best we can. Because at the end of the day, like last week's theme, right? Happiness, true happiness can only be found through total satisfaction amongst yourself. Once you are you're satisfied, once you are accepting of who you are, once you are doing the things that put you in the place of being your best self, that's when you can get to that place of happiness. It has nothing to do with anybody else out there. It has nothing to do with your wife, your husband, your sister, your mother, brother, father, your job. It got nothing to do with that. You choose to be happy. And if we're not happy with self, it's like, come on, you know, you're gonna change who you are. You might be able to change how you look cosmetically to a certain point. You're not gonna grow a foot taller. There's certain things we can do, but is that happiness? I don't think that's happiness, personally. You know, I think there's a lot of other ways to find happiness. The only direction I know is within, and that brings me to, you know, I do think eventually, once I get all of this going, and bear with me, y'all, like this isn't the finished setup. I'm still figuring out some things. I still don't have my chat box in here. This is a work in progress. Y'all are seeing this stream happening real time. Y'all gonna come with me. I was on OBS today. I was in the chat on Discord. I was all over the place, trying to figure out how to get this right and how to learn this. Because while I can't pay somebody probably to set this all up for me, if I don't know how to do it and something goes wrong, I want to know. I want to build up to that part and then get the whole team and everybody around. But that being said, I got friends out there, and y'all know how to do this OBS streaming and live streaming and multi-streaming and really just setting it up, or the little nuances and tips and tricks that you figure out by doing this. Eventually, I'm gonna share. But if y'all got some stuff to share with me, I would love that. And so, back to what I was saying. Book club. I'm gonna keep bringing this book up. This book y'all probably gonna get sick of from me. Um, but this book, the Vedanta Treatise, is, man, it is one of the things that has reinforced my path, my perspective, my beliefs in a lot of ways about knowledge of self. Again, something else I learned from hip hop, right? I learned knowledge of self, you know, through becoming a part of Zulu Nation, through studying, daily mathematics, through um really just the teachings of the culture. It was important. Like uh to participate, we had to learn, we had to contribute in our own ways, and really kind of like there was a culture to how you participated. And so the Vedanta Treatise, shout out to my man T-Bone. I don't know if you out there right now, but um let's see, where's my notes on this. Let's see, where are my notes at here? So the Vedanta Treatise, in simple words, well, not simple words, but is a comprehensive manual on the philosophy of Vedanta. Vedanta is the culmination of knowledge. Veda equals knowledge. Antac, ANTAC, is the end, right? So think of this, the end of knowledge, meaning this is all we need, right? And it's a systematic and formulated knowledge of life and living. Guides us on how to achieve lasting peace, success, and fulfillment by understanding the nature of the Atman, ATMAN, the self, i.e., God, of the self, the mind, as well as the world. How do they all interact, right? So the text bridges ancient wisdom with practical modern living, teaching how to balance our material pursuits with spiritual growth, right? So, yes, it's okay to have desires and want more. But how does that align with my spirituality, my truth, myself, and who I am, and me being a better person? So ultimately, it emphasizes self realization, knowledge of self, as the goal of our human existence. Our human existence, not our existence, because I believe we're energy, we're spirit. We are the one that hears, that sees, right? We're the observer. We're that spirit, that energy. I think these skin suits are our human experience. This brain that we have in this current existence is our, again, human experience. So, can we separate those things? Do you believe in reincarnation? Do you believe that we have had or have multiple lives? I truly believe that. I mean, I've done past life readings and felt, moments in other times. I don't know if y'all can feel that. Um, but it reveals your true self. It helps you to go within and explain your true nature and your relationship with the world, because we are not everything that's happening out there. We're just here to observe all of that. We have no control of anything that exists outside of our choices, period. Like zero. And they say Vedanta is before religion. It is the knowledge that religions base their opinions on. And it also states that the root cause of suffering in the world is that, and I put WO in parentheses in front of, is that man does not look within. What do? We look out there and say, oh, I got to change my world. I got to change this. I got to change that. If I want to hear, I want to move there, right? That may change where you're at and who and what you have to deal with and what you're surrounded with. It does not change how you are going to react to those things. We could set things up and, you know, try to put all of these guardrails in place and hope that we can control our experience. And even if it goes very close to what we wanted, it's not exact, right? We may be able to influence some of these things. We may be able to even feel like we're controlling these things. But it's far from it. It's an illusion. It is an illusion. And the thing is, I think we get so caught up in our minds, right? And um, believe that because this is how we've been acting, um, or what we like, how we've been participating in the world, we think that that's how it is, and that's all that it is, and it's not. It's ever changing. Um, so here I want to play something. So this Alan Watts thing came up recently, and when I recently, like shit, yesterday, and we get so caught up in, oh, how long does it take to change my minds, and oh, I got to change these habits and do all of this, and peep his theory on this. Let me see if I can get this transition right, y'all. Bang. Let's see. Even though that's not what I'm looking at right now, why is it not updating? See, you gotta love this. This is all happening in real time, y'all. 'Cause that's what I was gonna show y'all at all. Why is this not working? See, I had this all ready to play for y'all, and now it just wants to mess with my emotions. Hold on, let me see if I can get this to work, y'all. Cause it's showing y'all the browser, but it ain't letting me change it, man. I need like a tech on here with me that can help me through all this shit. I was excited. I figured it out, got it up on the screen, but the illusion is. All right, well, here, maybe y'all can hear it. Let me know if y'all can hear this part. The change takes time. The truth is, change happens the moment you decide. You don't need more time. You need a shift in being. You see, there are infinite versions of you, each living a life shaped by a different choice. The question is, which one will you tune into? One decision, one gentle pivot, and the entire path unfolds differently. Don't underestimate how powerful one moment of clarity can be. The universe responds the second you align. So, if you're wondering what to do, just listen. The version of you who already chose is calling you home. And that's all it is, man. It says it's just a choice. It's just up to you to make that switch in your head. And that's the thing about life and our thoughts and the way our brains work. We think these things are so difficult, but it's literally just making a simple choice. It's like, that's it. And like, that's all we got to do is make that simple choice, you know? Um, oh, there. Now it worked. That was the screen. Did the audio play for you guys? Let me know in the chat. Like, did that come through easy? Or was that like I wonder if y'all heard that clear, if I was only playing from my mic. Oh, dope. Okay. So did it come out like the actual sound from like if you were listening on the computer, or did it sound like it was coming from the mic? Oh, okay. Well, at least y'all heard it. So good. But and that's the thing, man. It's like once you understand how we feel is a choice, what we say is a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things are choice. So for me, my choice has always been to look internally, to look at self, to learn who I am. It has never been religion. One of the things I love about what they say in the Vedanta treatise is you don't need a figurehead. You don't need an idol or anything to follow. Because again, if you're following outwardly, you're missing the point. It's supposed to be going in. Once you do that inner work, everything reflects back out. So I just want to share a quick 10 points on this joint, on this book. And you know, I've said this before on the streams that I was doing on IG, but I think a book club could help, you know, and maybe that's a different live stream that we do. I mean, we start the books here, we choose the books here, but then once a week we meet and actually do like a reading, you know what I'm saying? Like an hour of reading or something like that, and let different people read. I'll bring guests on and things like that. But I think making like a book club, like almost interactive like that would be really dope. So first up, number one, the human composition. So a person is made up of body, mind, intellect. That's all the temporary stuff that we have in this lifetime. And the self, Atman. True fulfillment comes from aligning and transcending these layers, right? You know, first layer is our physical layer that we see when we use our eyes, our body. The second layer is the mind, right? You know, our brains. And then the other layer is our intellect. Our intellect is what probably I think interacts the most with self, but self is the one that puts out the marching orders. The self is the one that observes the mind. The self is the one that sees the body, right? If you have eyesight. But what if you don't have eyesight? Can you still see yourself? I wonder, right? Do you still have a vision of what you look like in this lifetime? So those things don't really matter as much, right? When you start thinking of it that way. Two, self versus ego. Self is pure consciousness. Again, the observer, right? It's infinite, it's eternal, it's the energy, right? That's that's who we truly are. It's that energy. Ego is the false identification with body, mind, and intellect, right? Ego is what thinks this body, this mind, and our intellect are what's real and not self, not the Atman. That's what plays the tricks on us, right? And that's what causes the suffering when we get so attached to the experiences of the physical, when we're just energy. Happiness is where? It's within, inside, period. Lasting happiness is not found in external objects, but in realizing one's true self. External pleasures are temporary and dependent on outside factors. Internal happiness, joy, not temporary. It takes practice, it takes work, but it's just the choice of choosing happiness, joy over the plethora of other things that we can choose that make us feel bad. All right, JT. Well, hold me to that, Jet. Let's go. Let's do it. Um, you know, with me, what I found also is I'm a great idea generator and starter, but I do it for others a lot of time because these things I do quietly, isolated. I've read all these books. I do all of these things, right? And so it's me figuring out how to build that bridge and make that connection. So when there's one or two or other people around that can help with that, it tends to speed up the process a little bit. So let's definitely do that. The role of the intellect. So it says the intellect must govern the mind, our desires, our vasanas, and our emotions. A weak intellect enslaved by the mind leads to agitation and unhappiness. So a lot of the times when we think about intellect, we just think about it as intelligence, right? Um, oh, guys, I just saw something. The chat box is kind of there, but not really. All right, I got to figure these things out. So, oh, it kind of disappears. All right, I got to figure out the colors and shit on that, man. See? Sheesh. Um, Sorry, I got distracted. I got happy and distracted at the same time. It's like I'm figuring these things out as we're doing it. So it's like, so if y'all see me get like, oh hey, I learned something new. Um it's just, yeah, sorry guys. I got excited. So a lot of times, like for me personally, I think of intellect as intelligence, right? But it's not. Intellect is the faculty of reasoning and understanding objectively, especially with regard to abstract or academic matters, right? So the intellect is what gives you the ability to discern among what's necessary and what's unnecessary. That, though, we need to practice, right? Because we need to figure out what is truly necessary and unnecessary for us, right? What I found that is unnecessary for me is codependence, right? Being dependent upon what other people think of me to make myself feel good. Like when I used to always be about sneakers and clothes, and that was like my job, I cared about what other people thought. I really did. Like, and I would do things egotistically to have things first and to show them off and to do all these other things. But it was empty. It didn't last. It wasn't something that was truly fulfilling that filled my cup, right? It didn't feel abundant. It felt temporary. And after a while, it almost felt like worthless, like it was unnecessary. And then having all of those things ended up turning into a burden and stress because now I have all this stuff I'm trying to get rid of or stuff that got old and damaged and doesn't isn't good anymore. And like you're holding on to these things and your mind starts to value them in these weird ways. And that's a lot of the times what we do with our needs and our desires. We confuse things that we need and we add ego to our desires. right? So we have to free our minds, right? Allow our intellect, like like exercise our intellect so that we're able to figure out what we truly need and don't need. And that leads us to desire management. So desires, or in Hindu and Buddhism, how they call them, vasanas, are natural, but they must be regulated. Unchecked desires cause stress. Sublimated desires directed toward higher ideals lead to growth. So, why are you desiring whatever it is you're desiring? Why do you want that thing? Is it purely for ego and immediate satisfaction? Or is it something to contribute to the good of the greater whole, right? And so before it was about me, like when I was talking about sneakers, again, that was all ego. I wasn't doing it to help others except for the fact of like putting you on something dope or like, you know what I'm saying, giving you the sneak peek or the access to, you know, whatever it is, you know, whatever products those are. So you got to be careful of what you want because that's the thing, right? We're being programmed right now. What is the words we hear all the time? Generational wealth. Wealth. Is wealth necessary? How do you accrue wealth? Most people that have wealth, especially generational wealth, have accrued it through some form of violence. Somebody got hurt along the way, you know? Somebody got stepped on, pushed out the way, got less than the other. When we start talking about prosperity, prosperities have everything we need. And you may need to help all kinds of people. So what you have is an abundance. And that's the thing, is like once you start connecting to self and the world, you start to understand that abundance is everywhere. There is no lack, right? It's everywhere. Everything we need is everywhere. It's there. And because you want something or you need something, doesn't take away from somebody else's wants or needs. Again, though, this is rooted in the why. Your why has to be in a proper space, has to be in a positive space. If it's not, that karmic reaction, that karmic thread, that karmic physics of every action is equal and opposite reaction is going to come back to you. Action, and this is again, action without attachment. Perform your duties diligently without being attached to results. They call this karma yoga. This attitude reduces anxiety and increases efficiency. So basically, what they're saying is no fucking expectations. Once you put it out there, receive however it comes back and accept it as what it is. If you want to change it, that's fine, but understand how you got that result so you can take that lesson from that and then build on top of that. But we can't be attached to everything we do. Those expectations are one-way contracts, right? Now, you may set expectations with a coworker, with a family member, with a spouse, with children. You know what I'm saying? Right? But that's an agreement amongst two people. A lot of times the expectations we have are one-way contracts. It's only us thinking about that. We're the only ones involved in it. We definitely got to be careful of that. There's three types of people. Vital, driven by impulses and emotions. Intellectual, like those people, the vital people, they're all over the place. That's probably the 85%, right? Just, oh, I need this, I need that. Oh my God, I got just everything. Oh, why is this happening to me? And oh my God, this is terrible. And all, right? They're just on roller coasters. They don't know which way anything is going. They're just all over the place. Intellectual, guided by reason and reflection. I'm probably more in this space right now. Um, you know, definitely logical, definitely connected as best I can to the world. Um, Lots of reflection, lots of contemplation, lots of curiosity, lots of acceptance, whether I like it or not, right? Just that's what happened. All right. Well, how do we go through it? And you can tell when people aren't in that space. So you ever in a situation where something bad happens, say you're at work, right? You know, electricity goes out or the stove, the gas isn't working or whatever, or somebody broke something, right? You know the people that'll focus solely on the problem? It's like, oh, this is fucked up. This is that. Oh, you did this or you did that. Oh, if you didn't do this, this wouldn't have happened. Right? Those are those vital people. Think about the people that think about the actual solutions, right? Like, all right, cool. This happened. Now, what's the solution? How are we working through this? How are we getting past this? How do we make this work? And let's address the bullshit later. So, gotta problem solving, right? Because again, problems, challenges, situations, whatever it is in front of you, there's always something to figure out, right? So a problem doesn't have to necessarily be negative. What else? Meditation as a practice. Regular meditation helps to quiet the mind, sharpen the intellect, and reveal the self. It's not escaping, it's not blocking out, it's not, it's inner mastery. Even if you just, like so many people resistance to meditation, even if you just sit still and breathe, that's meditation. Then close your eyes. But it's being able to sit with self, to see what comes up, acknowledge it. It's okay. It's there. Whatever it is, it's there. Okay. Now let it go. If you don't do that practice, all of that, those thoughts, all of that frustration, negativity, it gets stuck inside and has nowhere to go. That's why meditation and reflecting on your thoughts and allowing these things to come up and then consciously releasing them. It's like peeling layers, you know? It's letting just go. It's shedding all this unnecessariness. You know what I'm saying? And if we're constantly doing that, constantly shedding, again, it's like working out. If you're constantly working out, you're in better shape. So that's what practice is. Practice is working out. Meditation is part of a practice, is a practice. Material and spiritual balance. Vedanta does not reject worldly success. It teaches integration. Enjoy wealth and progress while maintaining inner detachment. Think about um, how quickly things go from like an aspiration or desire. Once you achieve it, goes from, oh my God, I want this, to just being regular, right? Bought your dream house. After a few years, most people are just like, yeah, it's just my house. What happened to your dream house? I thought that was what you worked for, what you wanted so bad. That car you wanted, those sneakers you wanted. But as soon as you wear them, it's not the same. So that attachment to it, that why, is so important. And you got to sit with that. It's not easy, especially if you are somebody who is very clingy. It's not something to just easily let go. It takes a lot of awareness and a lot of practice. So again, finding this balance between material and spiritual. Material, spiritual. Can you balance these things? Can they be even? Right? And so the more work you put in here, I think that in spirituality, the easier the material success and balances are, because you start to realize you're not as attached to them. They don't mean so much to me as my happiness. My peace is what means so much to me. For me, the wealth is being able to utilize my time how I choose, you know, not be forced to do everything for everybody else constantly. That part has changed my participation in this world so much. And I'm so grateful to be able to have those opportunities to do that. Self realization is the ultimate goal. Knowledge of self, realizing that you, the app man, the soul, you are what we call God. You are that divine energy. You are a piece of it. And like Rumi says, you are not a drop of the ocean. You are the whole ocean in a drop. Once we realize and give ourselves that acknowledgement, give ourselves that grace, give ourselves that support, we understand that the purpose of human life is realizing one's true nature, your Atman, transcending dualities and attaining liberation. Because at the end of the day, the few in organized societies have always controlled the many. They don't do that with physical force, you know? Obviously, sometimes there is some physical force, but it's mostly control over your mind through fear, which causes anxiety, which causes stress, right? Fear of things like, lack. There's not enough for everybody, right? That somebody's going to take from you. Hating of people that look like you because of fear that you're in competition with them again, right? So instead of having an abundant mindset, which they would be scared of, which we should work on, is thinking about things from the abundant perspective. We're taught to think of things from a scarcity perspective. So the reason, again, I love this book is because it's not teaching you to follow an idol or worship a god. I mean, if there was one God, I'm sorry, if all these religions are talking about God, isn't there just one? Isn't it the same? Or is there multiple different ones they created? But no, we're one human race. And so why are there different versions? And like Buddha was not like a god. He was a person living their life and shared how they thought life was to be lived. Buddhism was created after his death by people who wrote down his teachings and put them in some kind of formula or order. And it's like, all right, but that was written not by Buddha, that was written by somebody else. So, you know, how do we know what to follow and what not? How do I know which Bible to follow if there's been different revisions and versions and all this? So, all that stuff is too much for me. So, again, like I always say, find your path, inner path, and allow everything else to fall into place. And it's okay if you think everything you've learned up until this point isn't isn't real or was false or was, whatever. It just now you unlearn that, take the information, extract the wisdom or whatever you need from that, and keep it pushing. I think it's, again, these things are very simple to say in words. The hard part is putting them into action. And so that brings me to celebration. Um, last week actually last Monday, was the quote unquote, I'm putting this in air quotes, birth of hip hop. And I don't know, I don't know if people are gonna love me, hate me for this perspective, but I think it's a dialogue that we should have. So, culture. Hip hop is a culture, period. Like KRS once said, rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live. So, if that's the case, how could hip hop be born on a single day to a party started by a single person? I don't truly believe that's how we define culture. Like, while one person can definitely influence or even initiate a cultural change, culture is a collective. It's a collective creation shaped by many individuals and their interactions over time, right? And if you think about us as a culture, we're a sampling culture. And we sample all kinds of different music. None of the music was hip hop. It wasn't. There was no genre of hip hop. There was no, of rap. There just was. We didn't start with rap music. We started sampling. We're using other music. So even by that case, hip hop was started prior to whoever created the first record. It was already started before that because it took all of the other creations of music and language and prose and all to create this culture. And it's not a product. Hip hop is not a product. It's not like uh, uh, an invention. It's not like here's an iPhone. All right, this iPhone was released on this date, so that's the birth date of the iPhone. We're talking about attaching it to a party, not even to a record, right? Maybe if it was like a record and said, "Oh, this is the first," yeah, you could say that. But then what was happening before that? Before they got in the studio, you understand? And so I don't understand why we're trying to put a birth date to it. I believe hip hop is the most authentic expression of our modern human experience. I also believe that the each of the pillars of the culture are direct correlations to our earliest forms of communication and self-expression, right? You look at before we had language, we had hieroglyphics. That's graffiti. We used to play drums, right? And communicate like maybe it's like there's the rain drums, here's the war drums, here's you know what I'm saying? Like here's celebratory drums. That's the DJ and the producers. We used to dance to tell our stories through movement. That's the B-boy and the B-girl. And once we had language, we had the tribal leaders, the shaman, they were the orators, the MCs. And what were they sharing? What information was all being shared? Knowledge of self. This is who we are. This is where we're from. This is what we do. That's the formula of hip hop. So to try to put this onto one person to create, again, an idol, a false idol, which also creates distress, dissension, hostility, right? Because, oh, now you're up here and I'm down here, right? Which creates division, brings us back to today's mathematics. Now, do we want to destroy our own culture and allow them to tell our story and tell our narratives? Like, for instance, again, don't go back to celebration. And this is why I keep reiterating celebration. We have to celebrate this on our own. And by creating a birthday, it takes away the celebration of a lot of other people that contributed to the culture before that date. And events. There's a ton of events that led up to that. And again, The City of Hip Hop is another book we should probably read. Um, that one, really says like New York and that time, there couldn't have been another place where hip hop could have been born. But again, even in the book, there's all of these things that led up to it, things that were happening in politics, things that were happening in specific places in the city, things that were happening with the communities. So we can't say this one party started it all. Another part with this story, the graphic that they used for that birthday party, and I really wish we can get this fact checked. I was told that that graphic was made up for a T-shirt for the brand Cedric and Cedar. But that actual graphic wasn't a real flyer. I want to like I need to see proof. Like I want to know if that's legit. But that's crazy if it is, right? That we're celebrating a false narrative. Now, why would somebody do this? Why would we put that there? Divide and conquer. I believe this is all part of a systematic approach to just keep us divided, right? Once you hand somebody that type of label, right? There's gonna be people that are gonna want to challenge that. There's gonna be people that are gonna say it's not true because that's only one person's perspective. It divides us in a way that is just a perpetual argument because there's no way to prove this shit. Plus, how are we gonna say hip hop was born in 1973 when nobody called it hip hop until when? Later, 78, I think, 77, 78, 79, right? And again, this is from somebody that's speaking that grew up in the culture, but I wasn't there. I'm not from New York. I wasn't there in the beginning. I'm not old enough. There's so many reasons that we should not acknowledge a singular date as the birth of hip hop. So I really believe that they are putting this in place to keep us divided, to keep us fighting, because we can't prove it. We'll continuously be arguing about this shit. Every time that date comes up, we're gonna talk shit about it. Somebody's gonna be upset. Somebody's gonna be out talking about a video that this wasn't true and it wasn't that. But the issue isn't negating that date specifically. The issue is that we can't come up with an official date because, again, hip hop is not a product. It's not a person. There's no birth certificate. There's no production and manufacturing facility that came out of it. So you could say it was done on this date. It took everything leading up before to start this, and it's still. So again, my thing is that hip hop is not a product. Hip hop is an evolution. Period. Like it wasn't created, it's evolved from us living life. And the reason I believe they're trying to separate us on this is because one, obviously it started by, black people and people of color. They don't want us to control it because if you look at the influence of it, our influence is almost immeasurable. If we were a cohesive culture that accepted everybody that has contributed and participates with positive intention, you will see we are the global diaspora. That's why I always say we got to take our eyes out of this. You go to a party and they're hip hop and it's real in there, it does not matter what you look like until there is something to debate and until there's drama or some type of drama to create. I just saw, I think Chuck Schumer is trying to put a bill in place or something to expand the celebration of hip hop history month or whatever it's called in November. Who came up with that? Right? My point is, again, I want to celebrate this culture. So it's not about the celebration. I'm wondering why they came up with this and when, right? Just like, okay, you can only celebrate Black history in February or Black music in June or Black businesses in June or like, so you're telling me the only time we can celebrate is when we're told, when it's on a calendar? And think about how many national days, National Hot Dog Day, Hamburger Day, Cheeseburger Day, fucking Smashburger Day. They're giving you days upon days to tell you when to celebrate to a point, just like GPS, just like our phones. You're not thinking about it on your own. You're waiting for an alert on your phone to be told when to celebrate. Now, celebration, gratitude. Gratitude is part of the celebration. Celebration can be part of having gratitude, but gratitude is definitely part of the celebration. That's what we should be starting with, is gratitude on our own. Gratitude because we have the opportunity to know this culture as well as to participate with it and contribute to its evolution. We've seen this shit go from nothing in the Bronx to what I say is the driving force of global popular culture. And it's not just music, it's fashion and style, it's vernacular, it's influence, it's just authenticity. And we're not celebrating that part. We're not celebrating the fact that this culture has given the globe a reason, and not only a reason, but a commonality, a common thread. That's community. And celebrating our diversity is unity. Celebrating our diversity is unity. Acknowledging our oneness brings us, right? Makes us see, oh shit, all right, we're all the same. This is a human race. But celebrating our diversity brings us closer together. Food comes from Asia and Africa. At one point, they used to be the same, right? Food has traveled the world from those places through global trade as well as slavery. I would argue probably more through slavery, through Africans and through Chinese. Again, China and Africa, right? Both laborers, both farmers and agricultural experts, both medicinal experts, both heavy in food, right? All food comes from pretty much those places. They were taken all over. Colonization, slavery, war has shared these things all over the world, good or bad. We won't get into that part of it. But that's why there's so many foods that are indigenous to an Africa or an Asia that have different names in other parts of the world. But we still want to argue we're different. We breathe the same fucking air. We bleed the same way. What makes us different is the systematic programming that has been put into these cultures. And if we allow that to happen with hip hop, we are going to completely lose it because we don't own it. We don't own shit right now. But now is the time we need to start thinking about ownership. We only get there through collaboration. We only get to collaboration through unity, like true collaboration. But if we want to listen to the narrative of FBA versus every other black person that has been a descendant of the slave trade, whether Afro Caribbean, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are y'all arguing this shit? It's all the same diaspora. If you step back from it, it looks insane to be arguing this shit. But here we are. Like, it really looks crazy to be arguing that shit. Because at the end of the day, I don't, unless you have paper records of it, most of, we don't know our roots and where we come from. DNA tests can do whatever. Like, my family is from all over. I don't know all of it. Even when I did the DNA test, it said other things. So I'm like, I don't even know if this is correct. How do they know if this is correct? Again, that's all made by humans. Everything humans do is fallible or can be manipulated and skewed to tell whatever narrative these motherfuckers want. And so if we're going to have politicians coming in now telling us when to celebrate hip hop or use it as a platform to get their votes and to do all this other shit, it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing with it? That's, where I'm trying to get. If we're able to come together and connect via energy, self to self, what we could potentially do, I think, is unstoppable. And I truly believe right now is the time to start. I mean, I believe like 5 years ago is probably the time to start. But I mean, we're here. And so having these conversations, I think, is important. I think putting this out there, again, a lot of times we don't want to hear this kind of controversy. We just want to celebrate and, just have fun. And, it's hip hop's birthday and a bunch of people do parties, right? And then you know what happens? Everybody's going to start competing about doing parties around this celebration. And meanwhile, there's another 11 months out of the year, another 364 days out of the year when we could be celebrating. But you're only going to celebrate when you're told to? You know what we celebrate? We celebrate birthdays, definitely, right? But what if I said every day is your fucking birthday? Because you woke up. We celebrate holidays, right? And how many are they putting on the calendar now? They keep adding holidays. We celebrate things like anniversaries or promotions, you know, sporting events, things of this nature. But they're all external triggers. Hip hop is our way of life. It's our culture. Our life is exactly that. Us living. Those are things to celebrate. How we live, who we live with, who we associate with. Celebrate our people. Now, as we're getting older, a lot of my people's celebrations of all the good times they have right at the end will turn to, oh yeah, but we old now. And motherfucker, it doesn't change the fact that you can celebrate you still living and we got here. My dad is 75 and he's, oh yeah, all my friends are dying, we're old. I'm like, but dad, you've had the opportunity to get old. I had 6 friends last year in their 50s die. I had one of my fucking great friends, like 2 weeks ago, I found out he just died. They just found him dead in his crib, just dead. We still don't know what happened. We're still trying to figure that out. But you don't want to celebrate the fact that you woke up today. You don't want to celebrate a culture that, if you're my age, you've been living the majority of your life. If you're younger than me, you've been living and you only know it like your whole life. All those sneakers you wear, all the clothes you wear, all that talk you talk, a lot of music, whether it's directly rap music or has a rapper on it or was influenced by it. Like, come on, man. There's too much out there for us to celebrate with this culture, for us to give it away. Nobody thought we'd be where we're at all. Nobody thought we'd have this kind of power, this kind of opportunity. The fuck are we gonna do with it now? What is it gonna look like in 10, 15, 25, 50 years from now? What is 100 year gonna look like? We still gonna be in the same place? Still not owning anything? That can't be. That can't be. We still gonna be talking about who created it and only you were there and you weren't there? How would you know? Were you there? Every day, every moment? You saw with everybody? You saw everything? You don't. And anyway, it's not to say give away our history or negate somebody's contribution. It's to say celebrate it in a bigger, more honorable way. I don't know if y'all could tell. I'm a little passionate about this. Like, and it's not just because I got Fly Private Social and we're building social clubs to celebrate hip hop. It's I honestly, like, when I reflect on my life, I can't remember not living this culture. Period. But I can remember being told it's a fad. I can remember being told it's not going to last. Find another job, work in other industries. And you know what we did? Get bigger and bigger and bigger and more influential. Period. That's all we've done. And we continue to do that. When you listen to the narrative, oh, rap is dying, this is dying, oh, hip hop is dead. If we repeat that shit, it is. But hip hop is not dead because hip hop is a culture, it is a way of life. But we have to define it. My definition, and I'm gonna put this here again, my definition is hip hop is the most authentic expression of the modern human experience. Period. And if we talk about how we're supposed to live, work on self, do the inner work, reflect that back out. And what you're reflecting back out is the work you did inside, coupled with all of the information that has been received and consumed externally, that's mixed inside and then put back out. So all the culture does is reflect our life, right? So like the Vedanta Trinity, our way of life and living. But if we have a systematic approach to that, it's going to change because if our inner peace, if we have our inner peace and we're at one with self, we're going to know that it's not our eyes that determine who we should be around and who we should associate with and who we should collaborate with. It's going to be our hearts and our guts. That's how we connect. We have open hearts because we're here to experience. Those open hearts are the bridges, the guts, the GPS, the brains. That's our true brain. I know we can do this, y'all. Because everything they've told us we can't do, we've done. And not only done it, we've done it incredibly well. We have hit stages nobody ever thought we would be on. Paris Fashion Week, nobody ever thought we would be. I mean, Louis Vuitton again. I'll keep saying this shit until I'm blue in my face. There are drug dealers sitting front row every Louis Vuitton fashion show. In the 80s, they were telling us they don't want drug dealers wearing their clothes. What changed? Because we didn't. Not in that way. Why do they want us wearing their clothes now? Why do they want to pay our people to design their clothes? Why do they want to have our people wear their clothes and do collaborations like Tyler or have Pusha T wearing Pusha T? All he fucking talks about is selling dope. How the fuck does Louis Vuitton want somebody and all they talk about is selling dope wearing their product? Answer that with logic, not personally. Don't take it personal. Get emotional about it. Talk about that through the lens of logic. Explain to me how. My answer, because our influence is that powerful that they will compromise their ethos and values to what? Capitalize. So why can't we do that for ourselves? Anybody got an answer for me? Why can't we capitalize for ourselves? Why can't we use our influence for ourselves? Once we learn how to do that, this whole thing changes. That's what we got to get. All right. So celebrate. Let's celebrate this culture every day. Let's acknowledge it. Let's share it. Let's build on it. And let's continue to evolve. But this time with the intention of building through collaboration. Let's stop giving away our sauce for pennies on the dollar, for those fast checks. Give us 10 years with all of this money and resources that we have now, use it together and build. Trust me, we can make some shit happen. Like, we can make some shit happen. We're going to change this shit, man. So, you know, and with that, like, again, I think this is the perfect time. We are seeing so many like incredible things, happen. I think we have an incredible opportunity through the music, through everything else, to really get this going. And shit. Speaking of music, you know, Ghost got some new music out. And actually really shout out to Mass Appeal, man. Um, you know, with this Legends joint, like I'm so curious. I mean, we got a new Raekwon album. We got a Supreme Clientele 2 coming up. We got Nas and DJ Premier. We got a Big L album. We got a Mobb Deep album. We got a De La Soul album. Mobb Deep, R.I.P. to P. De La, R.I.P. to Dave. This would be the first albums from either group with one of their members gone. Like it's not even a resurgence. It's like a renaissance. You know, I said this on the last stream. The Clips are Generation X by age, but they're a millennial group according to when they came out. Malice is my age. He's 52. Push is 48. You are seeing so many people talk about this album, the lyrics, everything else, and they didn't compromise who they are. They did what they do, and they did it well. Let's cut the ageism out. Let's celebrate everybody. Like, look what Nas, man. Nas is incredible out here. Still going. I can't wait to hear this Nas and Premier album. That shit is going to be crazy. But while we're here, let's listen to So Ghost just dropped a couple tracks, and his album comes out on Friday on the 22nd. But this is what is this, Rap Kingpin? And I wonder if like all his joints are gonna be like this, yo. Throwback.
The most valuable bars that'll clap you. Black British walkers with diamonds in the tassels. Cascade kids rock more glass and it splash you. My goon down project got a Tony Stark statue. I'm like Gotti on dust. Got young niggas swinging they blade. Them chain swinging cats remind me of us. We got old money, old 20s. Gold mouthful of fronts. We in a Swiss Alps. Fucking mad snow bunnies. Syringe wrap, 40 bundles of smack. I seen lawyers get strung. They started off with the crack. The plug sent me 10 bricks. I sent all of them back. So they sent me half for 100. Had to get them on that. I got my Cameron done. Rubber grip with the pink nozzle. Skate routes. Dirt bikes. Moving like Chapo. Bulletproof Spalding goggles. Cop killer hollows. Fuck around and get the whole shell like a taco.
Yeah. Man. Like, I think there's gonna be, I feel like rappers from the 90s that are still here, still relevant in early 2000s that are gonna start coming back out are gonna start challenging these new rappers, not personally, but you gotta remember, rap is a sport. A lot of hip hop is a sport. I mean, breaking was in the Olympics. We see that, but there's a lot of competition in this culture. DJs compete, B-boys and B-girls compete, rappers compete, graffiti art, like it's all competition, but it's steel sharpens steel. And what if now you're gonna have all these new rappers coming out, not new rappers, but rappers that are popular now, stepping up their lyrics, stepping up their lyrical game, right? What if there's other collaborations? See Tyler on the Clips? You see Clips on Tyler? Pause. You see Clips on JID's album, JID's album, right? I don't know if y'all heard that joint. That joint is fire. Like, hold on. Where's this joint at? Yo. Do 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 do. Let's see where we at.
Okay, I don't give a fuck about, can't talk about. It's off the kilter. Lisa Algael, but don't talk about resilience. Off the city, she fired, then I broke. Let bro tell you what I'm missing, pay attention. What's missing in my hood, I identified. Then I brought white to my hood. Shit, I gentrified. We had military arms, we would simplify. Point blank, let me simplify. I've been light post, corner boy, green box sitter, crack nigga. Tryna hustle up and act bigger. 6 deuce buyer, niggas really live the wire. From lookouts, then we meteor to suppliers. Caged in, one way in, one way out. Robocops on mountain bikes, ain't pulling mace out. Just tryna get back home from getting chased out. A week ago, a boy like me don't got a face now. The apartments, the projects, the ghettos, all the same shit. Crazy how we hopscotch and double dutch danger. Between ADHD and all the pills that you gave us, how we supposed to process this anger?
The rain couldn't understand it. The pain made them understand.
And I love that this joint is called Community, right? Unity, man. It's there for us. We're gonna get it.
Plus the rhythm is a norm. Pull up where you park at.
The only lullaby.
Pull up where you park at. Aim a little dark.
Alice goes crazy.
Where your bark at?
My ghetto's not your culture. Niggas really die here, so hard to say goodbye. It's the only lullaby here. Kilos turning boys to men. Gotta pick a side here. Some with Jesus Shuttlesworth, some of us were Nasir's. As time goes by, it's an eye for an eye here. My niggas mob deep. The fittest gon' survive here. We New Jersey drive here. Shop, ride here. This jack in the box shouldn't come as no surprise here. You niggas rent to own, street cred gets denied here. Section 8 living, we treat it like a timeshare. Mother, auntie, cousin couldn't tell you who reside there, but never seen a father that was government devised here. Conquer and divide here, crash and collide here. When kings can't raise a young prince, the doves cry here. Candy lady right there, zombie land right there. Them apartments be the perfect backdrop for any nightmare.
Crazy, yo. Like they just bodying. Like bodying. Let's go. So yeah, check that JID out. And then this is another Ghostface joint.
1 2 1 2. We in the building, baby. We back. Yeah. Yeah. Go. I get right to the gristle like a pistol. I will twist you. It's all about my lyrics that make Starsky so official. Keep it real like Imus. Ladies, let it count money, sip goose while I play with your vagina. My bitch keep affrin', she got bad sinus. I bet when we being fresh, y'all can't find us. No protection, no need to remind us. Our love is divine, you can find us in the binders. Rap niggas is parry, singing like Mariah Carey. My iron is scary, good gangsters get wary. I wrote to watch the berry, I'm a zombie when I'm hairy. As a little nigga, kept the arrow like I lived in Gary. My temper may vary, listen money, don't come near me. Smoking is prohibited, or catch your eye jammy. Cause really you ask me, I don't care about a Grammy. Dirt smash that shit, don't give a fuck, y'all hear me?
All right, but yeah, that joint coming out on Friday, man. Let me not play too much. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble or not playing music like that, but woo wee, I'm ready for some ghosts. And actually, it was I was kind of sad. I missed what's it called? What was it called? Oh, the Raekwon joint that they did at what's it called? Fucking damn, Prospect Park. Shout out to Lyricist Lounge and crew. Uh-oh, hold on, y'all. Something going on with the stream. Refresh page and make sure everything going good. I think we froze. But I don't know. I think we're back now. All right. Yeah, but shout out to Lyricist Lounge. They did the 30th anniversary of Only Built for Cuban Links. And I missed it. But they just made the announcement that Raekwon, Havoc, and Mobb Deep are going on tour and doing both of their albums. So I'm definitely gonna have to catch that. Yo, stop playing. I asked you this before. Come on, one date. One date. Let me be road manager for one date again. You know what I'm saying? Just to, for the 30th anniversary, bro. All right. Doesn't matter what show. I'll travel. I'm down. But yeah, because y'all didn't know, I used to be Mobb Deep's road manager during the Infamous album. So want to come out and do one more show, you know? Just for old time's sake, dog. I think that should be fun. What else, man? What else came out? Any other music came out? Let me see. Anything else coming up that I wanted to talk about? Nah, but I think that's it, man. But excited for music coming out. Again, I think it's like there's an opportunity now, man, to bridge this gap to really like get this to a place where we're celebrating the culture, we're celebrating each other, and we're building together. Um, but it's gonna take some time, man. It's gonna take a second. Like I don't know if we'll see this in our lifetimes. I hope we will. Um, but it's something that we got to do the work for, whether we see it or not, because it's necessary. Um, you know, I just want to see us win. I just want to see collaboration, man, because we're in the quote unquote greatest country in the world that is going to shit right now, and we are living in a weird ass simulation that if you listen to the Orange Man, you don't fucking know what to believe, and who knows what's happening in this bizarro world that we're in. But what we do have is this culture. What we do have is strength in numbers, not in division, not in separation. Strength in numbers. And if we could really align and unite, I think we're unstoppable in many ways, right? And I don't think that means us, I think infiltrating the system is one way of doing it, but it's going to take a lot longer. Plus, there's so many different guardrails and generations of politicians that is some places very difficult to get through and around. But if we start building on our own, we start working on our own economy and sharing our money within our communities and building our companies and our brands and everything up, I think we can change. I think we can influence a shift. We change the narrative and we shift the culture. It can be done. You know, it's there. So let's continue this talk on that. The book club, JT and whoever else is down. Let's figure it out. I know we almost started one. I forgot what happened. We even picked a book. I think it was one of the Michael Singer books. Um, I don't know what happened, but we got to get on that. So we're here now. So that's something else we can do here. And what else? I'm gonna continue to organize this world to get everything right so that when I'm playing y'all music and stuff like this, I can just, you know, pull things up and share screens and make it look all pretty and sexy and engaging and stuff because we need that. Can't be out here not sexy. We gotta be out here, sexiness. So I want to get all that ready, and eventually, once I have all that, I want to bring on other people. But I want to be able to do that remotely as well. And bring on other people who have the multi, boxes and stuff for everybody to be in there and just have conversations. And then eventually too, I'll bring some live guests through, and then we'll get to the IRL stuff, like when we're out and at events and shit like that. Like I would have live streamed yesterday, you know. We could have, I could have been BBL Drizzy and out there. That actually shot down. I don't know why that. I gotta think about that next time. See, I gotta figure this out too, where I'm really set up that way to start streaming. So that's another thing. Anybody watching this, I said it earlier. I'll say it again. How do we, or who knows how to, um, really do this? Like, I need the people that know how to, um, really do OBS and all the streaming. I need to know how to do this. So help me out. If you got people, send a kite to a friend and let me know what's good. um, and yeah, that's about it. You got here, still comment, prompt is always, one word for how you're feeling right now. Even if you just joined the stream or you're watching this on a replay, still throw it in the comments. I'll still check it out. And yeah, man, share this. Let other folks know. Make sure, like I said, y'all subscribe, man. And hit the notification button, so you get the alerts when we're starting. What else? Yeah, we'll be back next week. Actually, I might try to figure out for the stream next week live because there's a concert somewhere I was going to go to also. And then Memorial Day, Labor Day will take off for the holiday. Yeah, man, I think that's about it for today. Oh, new episode of Mask Off will be out featuring DJ A-Track, or just A-Track now. It's not DJ A-Track anymore. I had a great combo with him. So if you're catching this, make sure you check out Mask Off with Hawaii Mike. But you can get everywhere from YouTube. You see the subscribe right here, comment, and share. If you follow that handle right there, that'll get you to everything. That'll get you to the YouTube Mask Off channel, the Chef for Hire channel. And yeah, that's it, y'all. So thanks for hanging out with me. See y'all next Monday. Have a blessed week. Love and appreciate y'all. Peace.